Have you, or someone you love, ever put the car keys in the fridge? Then stood there, confused, wondering how they got there in the first place? Have you ever called your grandson by your father's name? Or walked into the kitchen only to stop cold because you couldn't remember why you came? It's easy to laugh it off. We all forget things, right? But what if those tiny slips weren't just part of getting older? What if they were the first whispers of something much more serious? Now here's a confession. Most people wait too long. They ignore the signs. They chalk them up to stress, old age, or just having a senior moment. But by the time the doctor says the word dementia, the brain's already lost precious ground you could have protected. Here's a truth most doctors won't say on the first visit. Your brain starts shrinking in your 60s, not because of disease, but because the fuel it needs to stay strong and sharp was never on your plate. Yes, what you eat could be the silent killer or the secret weapon. And today, I want to show you something that could truly change your life. Not another pill, not a puzzle game, but 4 vegetables, simple everyday foods that scientists now link to sharper memory, better focus, and even a lower risk of Alzheimer's. These aren't exotic or expensive. You might already have them in your fridge right now, but not realize how powerful they are for your mind. And before this video ends, I'll also tell you one common vegetable that might actually damage memory if you're not eating it the right way. And almost every senior I know is doing it wrong. So stay with me, because if you care about your future, if you love someone over 60, if you've ever looked into the eyes of a parent, a partner, a friend, and seen that blank, lost look, this is not the video to scroll past. This might be the moment that saves years of memories. And if you're the kind of person who sees this information and walks away without subscribing to Elderly Spring, let me ask you, if your memory fades, who will be there to remind you? Who will help you remember this moment? And if you won't subscribe, at least go into the comments and tell us why. Maybe someone else will read it and say, that won't be me. But if you do care, even just a little, comment "I'm here" if you're ready to take your health and your loved one's health seriously. Like this video and make sure you subscribe to Elderly Spring, where we turn small daily choices into long-lasting wellness. Because senior health isn't a luxury, it's a responsibility. Let's begin. Vegetable number 1, broccoli, nature's brain shield. Let's start with a story that might sound familiar. Harold is 72. For most of his life, he was unbeatable at chess. Every Saturday afternoon, you'd find him at the rec center, seated at the far table under the clock, white pieces always in front of him. People used to line up just to watch him play. But slowly, things changed. One day, he paused for too long, then forgot if he had moved his knight. A week later, he lost to a teenager who had only learned the game that summer. His daughter noticed it first. The missed turns, the hesitation, the way he'd trail off mid-sentence like the thought had just disappeared. She didn't panic, she researched, and what she found led her to something surprisingly simple: broccoli. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Broccoli? Really? Yes, really. See, broccoli isn't just good for the body, it's one of the most powerful brain protectors in your kitchen. It's loaded with something called sulforaphane, a natural compound that reduces inflammation in the brain, the kind of low-level inflammation that slowly chips away at memory and cognition. It also boosts glutathione, your brain's natural detox system. Think of glutathione like your brain's cleaning crew. It sweeps out the junk so your neurons can fire clean and fast. Now here's where many people go wrong. They boil it until it turns soggy and gray, and then wonder why it tastes awful or causes bloating. But that method? It destroys most of the good stuff. The trick is to lightly steam it, just enough to keep the crunch, not the mush. Even better, saute it with olive oil and a little garlic. It's not only tastier, the oil actually helps your body absorb the nutrients better. Harold started doing just that. Not overnight, but after 3 weeks he could follow the game again. He still forgot a move now and then, but the fog, it was lifting. Broccoli won't turn back time, but it just might help slow it down. Now, if broccoli is the brain shield, the next veggie, it's the spark plug that gets everything firing again. Vegetable number 2. Beets, natural memory booster. Let's talk about Maria. She's 67, sharp as a tack most of her life. But lately, something felt off. She said it was like her brain needed a few extra seconds to wake up, like someone had hit the dimmer switch. She forgot her neighbor's name, had trouble focusing during Bible study, and even found herself too tired to finish crosswords she used to breeze through. Her doctor ran tests. Nothing showed up. Then one nutritionist said something unexpected. Try drinking beet juice twice a week. Maria laughed. Beet juice? But within 2 weeks her energy returned. Within a month her fog started to lift. Here's why beets work. They're rich in natural nitrates, which convert to nitric oxide in the body. That nitric oxide opens up blood vessels, especially the tiny ones in your brain's frontal lobe, the area responsible for memory, focus, and decision-making. More blood flow means more oxygen. And more oxygen means a brain that stays awake, alert, and engaged. Now some people hear the word beet and think sugar. Yes, they're sweet, but the benefits far outweigh the fear. Beets won't spike your blood sugar if eaten in moderation, especially when paired with healthy fats or fiber. And no, you don't have to chug beet juice every day. You can roast them with rosemary, toss them into salads, even blend them into smoothies with blueberries and ginger. Maria made that switch. And now, she's hosting game night again, and winning. Beets don't just nourish the body, they reignite the brain. Now let's move from circulation to the vegetable that builds your brain's internal defense system. Vegetable number 3, kale, the brain's bodyguard. James was 74, tall, quiet, still strong for his age. But his daughter noticed his words were slower. He'd pause mid-story, searching for the right phrase. Not just once, frequently. He refused supplements, didn't trust brain pills. But a nutritionist gave him a challenge. Eat kale every day for 2 months. He rolled his eyes. Rabbit food, he called it. But he did it anyway. By week 3, his daughter noticed something. James was quicker, wittier, even cracked a joke at the family BBQ, something he hadn't done in months. Kale might not look like much, but it's a brain powerhouse. It's rich in lutein, which settles into the brain's memory centers and protects them from oxidative stress, the stuff that ages your brain from the inside. It also packs vitamin K, which studies link to slower cognitive decline. Now here's what's important: how you eat it. Raw kale can be tough on the stomach, so massage it with lemon juice and olive oil to soften it for salads, or bake it into chips with a sprinkle of sea salt, or toss it into soups and stews. It's not about eating a mountain of greens, it's about consistency. A handful here, a handful there. And James? He passed his memory retest with flying colors. So if broccoli is the shield and beets are the spark, kale, it's the armor. And now, let's talk about a kitchen favorite that affects both memory and mood. Vegetable number 4, tomatoes, the memory mood. Link: Evelyn was 79, always cheerful, always the one to bring cookies to the church bake sale. But then, she changed. She became quiet, snappy, withdrawn. Her grandson noticed she'd stopped eating tomatoes, said they made her feel off. But after encouragement, she started adding them back in. Fresh in salads, cooked in soups, sauced onto whole grain pasta. And something unexpected happened. Her energy lifted. Her mood improved. She started humming in the kitchen again. See, tomatoes are more than just tasty. They're rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that shields your brain from oxidative damage, especially in the hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. Lycopene also helps regulate mood and emotion, which is why low levels are often linked to depression and cognitive decline. But here's the twist. Raw tomatoes are good. But cooked tomatoes? Even better. When you heat tomatoes, especially with olive oil, the lycopene becomes more bioavailable, meaning your body absorbs it more easily. Don't fear the acidity. Instead, combine tomatoes with basil, turmeric, or even a pinch of black pepper for a calming anti-inflammatory meal. Tomatoes don't just flavor your food, they lift your spirit and they guard your memory. So what do we have so far? Broccoli protects, beets energize, kale fortifies, tomatoes uplift. But what if one vegetable that everyone assumes is healthy, especially seniors, is quietly making things worse? One that, when reheated, releases compounds that could accelerate memory loss. We'll talk about it shortly. But first, take a deep breath, because this next part might just change how you look at your microwave forever. Before we move on, one vegetable that seniors trust, cook it the wrong way, and it can quietly sabotage your memory. It's common, it's convenient, and it's sitting in most kitchens right now. Stick around, you'll want to hear this. It's one of the hardest things in the world, watching the people you love drift. Not disappear physically, not with sickness you can see on a scan, but piece by piece, memories gone, names lost, moments erased like chalk in the rain. You sit across from them, their hands are the same, their voice still familiar, but suddenly they look at you, and there's no recognition in their eyes. They ask you the same question, over and over again. They laugh at things that aren't funny, or worse, they stop laughing altogether. It breaks your heart. Because how do you hold on to someone who's slowly slipping away inside? Maybe it's your mother, your husband, a neighbor who raised you like family. Or maybe it's you, and you're starting to feel that fog creep in. And you wonder, is it too late? But here's what I need you to hear. With all the gentleness I can offer, you are not helpless. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels overwhelming some days. But there is power in small decisions. There's strength in the everyday. Broccoli, beets, kale, tomatoes. They're not just groceries. They're tools. They're quiet acts of love you place on a plate. They're moments of care, of saying, I want you here, with me for as long as possible. And I want you here in full color, not fading shadows. Because this isn't just about memory, it's about connection. About protecting the parts of us that make us us, our stories, our relationships, our joy. And if you've noticed someone forgetting lately, repeating themselves, mixing up names, leaving the stove on, or simply not quite being themselves, don't wait for it to get worse. You don't need to overhaul their entire life. Just start with one thing, one swap, one slice, one change this week. Steam some broccoli, roast a few beets, sneak kale into their stew, add tomatoes to their eggs. They don't even have to know why, just do it. Quietly, gently, consistently. And maybe, just maybe, you'll start to notice a difference. A clearer sentence, a deeper laugh, a memory that comes back instead of drifting further away. See, brain health after 60, it's not about finding a miracle, it's about making one in your own kitchen. You don't need to do it all at once. Just take the next right step, and let that step be made not out of fear, but out of love. Because when you do this, when you care in this way, you're not just giving someone nutrients, you're giving them the chance to stay present, to stay connected, to stay themselves. And that's a gift beyond measure. So let's take a moment to breathe and reflect. We've just walked through 4 powerful vegetables, simple foods that don't come with a fancy label or a big price tag, but hold the potential to support the most precious thing we have, our mind. Broccoli, for protection. It's the bodyguard shielding your brain from silent inflammation. Beets, for circulation. They get the blood flowing where it matters most, your memory center. Kale, for memory retention. A quiet fighter, building defenses against the damage time can do. Tomatoes, meant for mood and memory. A comforting boost, gently guarding the joy and clarity inside you. You don't need to add all 4 today, just start with one. One small change, one plate, one act of care. Your future self will thank you. So will the people who love you. Now let me ask you, which of these are you going to try first? Is it the beets that surprised you? Or are you more curious about kale now that you know its memory magic? Or maybe something in this video reminded you of someone close to you, someone whose memory is slipping, or who's already deep in that difficult season. If that's you, I want to hear from you. Go to the comments and share your story, even if it's just one line, because someone else watching maybe hundreds of miles away, is going through the exact same thing, and your words might be what helps them feel less alone. Tell us, what's your favorite brain food? What's worked for your loved one? What are you going to try this week? And if this video helped you feel even just a little more hopeful, if it gave you clarity or peace of mind, or even just a reminder that you're not powerless, then please, don't just scroll away. Like this video so others can find it. And subscribe to Elderly Spring, where we share warm, real, science-backed advice made just for you every single week. This channel isn't about fear. It's not about quick fixes or false promises. It's about walking this road together, one nourishing habit at a time. And hey, if you've made it this far and still refuse to subscribe, at least go into the comments and tell us why. Seriously. We read every comment. Maybe it'll start a conversation that helps someone else find what they're looking for. But if you're the kind of person who believes your best years still matter, if you believe your mind is worth protecting, then you belong here. And we're so glad to have you. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being part of this little springtime of wellness we're growing here. Stay strong, stay curious, and always stay spring-hearted. We'll see you in the next one.